The Valluvanad or Arangottu Swaroopam was an erstwhile late medieval feudal state in present state of Kerala in South India, extending from the Bharathapuzha River in the south to the Pandalur Mala in the north during the zenith in the early Middle Ages. On the west, it was bounded by the Arabian Sea at the port Ponnani, and on the east by Attappadi Hills. According to local legends, the last Later Chera ruler gave a vast extension of land in South Malabar to one of their governors, the Valluvakkonithiri, and left for a hajj. The Valluvakkonithiri was also given last Later Chera ruler's shield of Kozhikode, another governor from the departing ruler. Not surprisingly, the Valluvakkonithiri Rajas were hereditary enemies of the Samuthiri. Valluvanad is famous for the Mammankam festivals, held once in 12 years, and the endless wars against the Samuthiri of Kozhikode. By the late 18th century, Valluvanad proper was the sole remaining territory of the Valluvanad Raja, who once exercised suzerain rights over a large portion of southern Malabar. Although management of the country was restored to the Valluvakkonithiri Raja in 1792, it soon became evident that he was powerless to repress the trouble that quickly broke out between Mappillars and Nayars, and already in 1793 management of the district had to be resumed as the chief and his family fled to Travancore. Celebrated poets, Kanchan Nambiar and Poonnanam were born in Valluvanad region. The Valluvanad comprises Perinthalmanna taluk of Malappuram district, Ottapalam and Manakad taluks of Palakkad district. Major towns in Valluvanad: Perinthalmanna, Ottapalam, Shoranur, Manakad, Pattambi, Chirpalasari, Angadipuram, Mankada, Velanchri, Puramana, Thridala, Srikrisnapuram, Vanayamkulam, Lakidi, Onglur, Mudadhala, Thirumittakode, Agali Attappadi, Sholaya Attappadi, Pujur Attappadi, Manna, Karanchelatani, Kozhikode, Thashnatukara, Puvathani. Capital. The capital of Valluvanad was the present-day town of Angadipuram, which is now famous for its Thirumantamkunu temple. The family deity of the Valluvanad royal family was Thirumantamkunu Bhagavati at Thirumantamkunu temple. The state, the ruler of the kingdom, was called Valluvakkonithiri. The Valluvakkonithiri was also known by the names like Velatiri, Vallabhan, Rayir and Chathan Kothar and Arangottu Swaroopam. Valluvanad dynasty is considered to be a very ancient lineage. It's believed that Valluvanad were the land of the Valluva people, but UNNU Neeli Sandesamanani Yadi Charathram contain a mention of Vallubhakeshitiya Vallubhakshoni, the land of Prince Vallubha, which, by all indications, is likely to be Valluvanad. So, some say that Valluvanad kings are descendants of a Pallava prince, Srivallabha. It's said that he moved the entire family from Srivilliputtur in North Tamil Nadu to the area around the Nila River about 4th century CE. The eldest person in the family is called Valluvakkonithiri. In most records, the hierarchy was called Arangottu Swaroopam. Titles according to seniority were Valluvakkonithiri, Velalpad, Thasharalpad, Edithralpad, Kolathar and Padanjarakara. The four branches of this family, namely Arapra, Iranajip, Kadana Manna and Mankada, are now in Mankada Panchayath, Perinthalmanna Taluk, Malappuram district. Among the male members, the eldest Stani is titled as Valluvakkonithiri and the rest four were Velalpadu, Thashalpadu, Iditharapadu, and Kulathathamphran respectively. Another Stani is nominated by Velatiri and is called Patinharakara Thamphran. He has rights over some landed property and privileges. The eldest Thampurati of the family is called Kulathathamphirati, and the next eldest is called Kadanamutha Thamphirati. These eldest 5 male members and eldest 2 female members are eligible for Malakana monthly remuneration to compensate for properties or rights taken over by the British. Apart from this, the eldest female members of each Kovilikam have their own rights and privileges. Government Karuvayor Musad was the Brahmin chief minister of Vallutiri. Kunathatal Madimbulnair was the chieftain who looked after the affairs of the eastern boundary and hilly areas of Vallutiri. Kondathul Manadir and Nair of Kavada were other chiefs under him. Other dignitaries consisted of 14 Swarupis, which included 2 Nairs from central regions, 2 Nambuthiris, 2 persons of the royal house, 4 Panakas, Elemprakada Kulatha warrior, Upim Kaladal Pisharadi, Pathramana Velordi, Parakat Nair, Kakat Nair, Manamala Nair and Cherukara Pisharadi. History Valluvanad has a recorded history going back to the days of the Second Chera Kingdom, Akulashakara Kingdom. At one point of time the Valluvakkonithiri exercised sovereign powers over a considerable portion of South Malabar under the Chera rulers and his an independent state after the Cheras. The Valluvanad comprised the whole of the Peranthalmana Taluk, Manarkad and Ottapalam Taluk, and also parts of Ponnani Taluk, Tirur Taluk and Iranad Taluks. Raja Sekharan is the first Valluvanad Raja about whom there are inscriptions. Kong and Pada attacks in the 9th century CE were the attacks of the king of Kong Unad to the Nadampurayor region of the Kulasekara kingdom. The Kong Unad army was defeated by combined armies of the Kulasekara vassals Nadampurayor, Valluvanad, Unad and Parampadapu kingdoms. After the war, in honor of the Valluvanad Raja received Kurisivilai and Chaitanya and Kaidala villages from Nadampurayor kingdom. This event is even now celebrated as a historical event in Chittor Taluk where the fighting took place. In the 10th century, King Vallubham son of Raja Sekharan, fought Rashtrakuta ruler Krishna III. The inscriptions of Tiruvatiyur give the story of Vallubham renouncing his worldly life and assuming the ascetic order because he could not help his friend Raja Dityachola who died in the Battle of Takolam in this war. Mention is made of Rai Chathan, the governor of Valluvanad, as a witness in the Jew's copper plate of 1000 CE given to Joseph Raban by Bhaskara Ravivarma I, the Chera king of Mahadayapuram. William Logan is of the opinion that Vallutiri was also not directly under the Chera kings but enjoyed more freedom and rights than other chieftains under them. The Valluvanad rulers also find mention in the Path Ivapuram Sazanim and Vararagavapatime. After the end of Kulasekara kingdom around 1102 CE, right to the Mamankam festival passed to the Parampadapu kingdom and then to the Valluvakkonithiri. When Samuthiri of Calicut became a major force on the western coast, they captured a large portion of Valluvanad and the right of Mamankam was usurped by Samuthiri. When he captured the town in the latter half of the 13th century by Thirunavar Wars. Ever since the elite suicide squad called the Chavapada were dispatched at every Mamankam by Valluvanad to kill the Samuthiri and take back its lost pride, though they were quite aware of the impossibility of the task. Most of the houses in the captured areas accepted only Vallutiri as the legitimate king. Nair houses and Kalari had Kudipaka against the Zamorin and had lost the members in the wars against him. More deaths meant incitement to the blood feud and new recruits of the suicide squads. To counter the local unrest, the Zamorin followed a custom of implanting Muslim families and the families of other commanders who had allegiance to him in the captured areas of Malapuram. The severe and frequent wars on Valluvanad by the Zamorin continued. Even after the loss of his ally Kochi Raja, Vallutiri did not submit to Samuthiri. By now all that was left to Vallutiri were Attappadi Valley, parts of Manakad, Ottapalam and Perinthalmana. Zamorin invaded these territories but could not make much progress, because these regions were sparsely populated and most parts were dense forests and hills. It was impossible for Zamorin's large army to march forth through these areas. The fights with Vallutiri's men became more and more difficult for Zamorin. Vallutiri's smaller army in turn made the most of the landscape and successfully kept the armies of Zamorin at bay. Later, during the Mysore invasion, Valluvanad was confined in area, and the Vallutiri sought asylum in Travancore. On the cessation of Malabar to the British by Tipu Sultan, Vallutiri entered into an agreement with the British, and became a pensioner.